and welcome to episode 94 of the Graceful Tangle podcast. I'm Amy Kate. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am, as always, really excited to be back with you guys this week with another podcast episode. I have many things to talk about, but I will say that the majority is definitely in the design segment of this episode. I have been designing and working on so many things lately, and it has been very, very exciting. Slightly overwhelming because it's a little too much, but it's still very, very exciting. Anyways, today is currently Saturday, the 26th of February. I cannot believe that this month is almost over. I actually have a pattern releasing on the 28th, which I'll talk about later, and that will kind of like, just end the month, which is just absolutely crazy. Like, I seriously cannot believe February is almost over. I feel like it just flew by, and it is the shortest month, but I don't know. Still, time is just going by so quickly. But thank you so much for being here. If you aren't already subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you go ahead and do that. I am actually so close to 2,000 subscribers here on YouTube, so I would love to hit that little milestone here soon, and I appreciate your support so much. On that same note, be sure to check out the description box below. There's going to be so many links down there this week. There's a link to the show notes, of course, for this episode, which are located over on my blog. But then there's also going to be a lot of links to some specific things that I'm mentioning in this episode, some patterns that I've released recently, and then, of course, my social media information, contact information, Dishcloth Make-A-Long info, which I'll be talking about a little bit later as well. There's just a lot of things to talk about and cover in this episode, and that place is really the best way to just kind of get direct links to all of that information. So anyways, I do have a finished object, just one, to share this week. I do have a couple of FOs and designs, but we'll save that for a little bit later. Anyways, I do have one FO, so let's just go ahead and hop into the good stuff this week with some finished objects. Alrighty, so I only have one FO this week, and it is a pair of socks. So here is what they look like. These turned out so good. I am so excited to give these away later this week. I have been making these for the past few weeks for my brother's birthday. He's turning 18 on March 3rd, which is just completely insane. I cannot believe that he's turning 18. I can't believe another one of my siblings is 18. That's just unreal to me. But I had so much fun making these socks. I used Barocco socks, which is SOX if you're curious, which is their 75-25 base. It's just a really awesome sock yarn. I fully enjoyed using it. This was actually my first time using it, and I have some more skeins of it, so I'm really excited to continue using it in the future. These are self-striping. Obviously, the stripes are kind of crazy, narrow, they are not all equal. I really like the way that they look. They don't match completely, which is totally okay. I really don't think it matters. I mean, if you're looking at them, I can tell that they don't match, but at the same time, I can tell that they're a pair. And I think that that definitely has something to do with just the way that the stripes played out in both socks and just how they look overall. Very cohesive, if not identical. And I really like that. So I used my own pattern, the Success Socks pattern, for these, and just adjusted it to fit his feet the best. And yeah, they turned out great. I, again, really love the way that they look. It's just a standard vanilla sock pattern, and it is so nice. It was so good to just mindlessly work on these while reading and the like. And it was a really good project. So I've actually already started my sister's, which I'll talk about in a minute. Her birthday is later in the month of March. So yeah, March is a busy month for our family. But anyways, I'll talk about those in a second. One thing that I do want to mention, I've gotten some questions recently on how to just make socks fit other people. It's definitely tricky. It's definitely trial and error. I so far have done pretty well with just guesstimating other people's feet and knit socks that fit, and I am so grateful for that. So far I have made socks for 3 people outside of my immediate family, and then I've made socks for everybody in my personal immediate family that I live with, so my mom and dad and my siblings, and that's about it. So I don't have a ton of experience knitting socks for other people yet. That's definitely something that I am still growing in. However, there is a ruler that I link to in all of my sock patterns, and I will link to it in the description box of this video. It is the best thing ever. Basically, it has all of the shoe sizes for kids, women, and men listed out, and then shoe size, and then the length of that person's foot. And so based on that length, you can really be able to tell how long you should make your socks, which of course is the biggest thing. And then most sock patterns are knit in 3 sizes with an inch size difference between each size. So for my patterns, that's 56, 64, and 72 stitch counts. And you can really just estimate what size is going to fit the person the best. For my brother, I did 60 stitches, which is technically in between the small and medium size. I think it's just going to fit him better. For me, I do 56 stitches. For my mom, I do 64 stitches. You can kind of say 56 would be like a women's small or a kid's large. Medium, which is 64, could be a women's, and then 72 could be a man's. But it's also not that specific. Sometimes you can just tell when, a person may have a more slim foot or ankle, and a smaller size is going to fit better. Or they might have like a bigger heel, or a larger foot or a larger ankle, and the 72 will fit better. It's really, again, just trial and error. I am more than happy to answer any questions you may have, so don't hesitate to leave a comment on this video or send me an email. All of that information is down below. But yeah, it's really just figuring out what works best for you in terms of knitting socks for other people. Anyways, all of that said, I love these socks. Again, I'm super excited to give them to him. He actually does know what yarn he chose because I showed it to him. I wanted to make sure he would like it, and I had a few picked out. This was like the kind of quirky one from the bunch, and then I had a couple of other just more muted options too, and he chose this one. However, it was in skate form, not cake form, not hank form, so it was kind of hard to tell what it was actually going to look like, and he has not seen them knit up yet, so I think it's still going to be a surprise, and I am very excited about that. So that is my only finished object for this week. I am working on one work in progress right now that isn't a design, and it's another pair of socks, so let's just go ahead and talk about those real quick. Okay, like I said, the only whip that I have this week that isn't a design is a pair of socks for my sister. So her 13th birthday, absolutely crazy, is later in March 15th to be precise, and I'm making a pair of socks for her as well, and these are turning out to be so fun. I think she is going to love these. Like with my brothers, she does actually know what the yarn looks like. She picked it out from a few that I had selected from my stash. But again, she doesn't know exactly what it's going to look like knitted up. That is just a huge part of the surprise that is typically a surprise. A huge piece of the puzzle, maybe. That's typically a surprise. Anyways, here's what the yarn looks like in cake form. I'm trying not to get it tangled here. So it is super sparkly. It has pinks and blues and purples, and then kind of a darker purple as well. I do have the label somewhere, I think. Let's see if I can find it real quick. I have so much stuff to talk about, and the majority of it, like I said, is in design talk. Like, so much. Okay, here is, sorry about that. Here is the label for this yarn. It's called Kramer, I think is how you pronounce that. Sterling Silk and Silver. 63% superwash merino, 20% silk, 15% nylon, and 2% silver. It says silver poly. I'm going to assume that means silver polyamide. I could be completely wrong on that, so don't quote me, but I think that's what that means. And this is a 100 gram hank, or approximately 420 yards. And the colorway is called Victorian Dusk. So there you go. I had not read that label yet. Victorian Dusk. That is an interesting name. But here's what the sock currently looks like. It's kind of pulling a little bit, but I actually really like it. I think it looks pretty cool. Here's what they look like. So you can kind of see the pulling a little bit. There's like a little bit of micro striping here, and then this like really big kind of purple swirl almost. And then here's the back of the sock as well. This little black stripe is for the afterthought heel that I'll be doing after I finish the foot. And yeah, so I'm a little nervous about these socks only because I don't want them to be too big, and I'm a little bit scared that they're going to be. I'm knitting the 64 stitch count, which is an inch bigger in circumference than what I normally knit for myself. I think they're going to fit. They might be a little bit loose, like a little more loose than I was originally going for. But they're definitely not going to be too big to the point where, they're not wearable or anything like that. I think they're going to be totally fine, but I will keep you guys updated on that. Because I am very curious as to how these are going to fit her. Regardless, I think they're turning out great. I'm really excited. You can't really see the sparkle as much on camera as you can in person. Maybe if I hold it up closer, I don't know. Right now I can't really see the socks, so I don't know if you can or not. But it's like a very subtle sparkle, which I think is so pretty. And yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with them. So same pattern, Success socks. I'm using size 1 2.25 millimeter needles. These are my Chiaogus. Same size I use for all of my finger weight socks. And yeah, they're going great. So I have been working on these a lot while reading for the most part. And it's been really nice. I actually finished another book this week, which I will talk about later. And it was so good. I got a lot of progress on these while reading that throughout the week. So anyways, that is it for whips. That is literally all I'm working on. That isn't a design, which is just crazy. That wasn't really intentional, but I spent a lot of time this week just kind of finishing up some designs and then getting new ones started and figured out. I had so much trial and error this week. So it kind of just took a lot to get a couple of things going, much less, 5 new things. But that said, I do have quite a bit of things to talk about. So let's go ahead and really hop into the meat and potatoes of this episode, and that is designs. Okay, I have so many things to talk about in this segment, but let's just go ahead and start with a couple of patterns that have been released in the past week, which is always super exciting. The first is the Knobbly Beanie. So this is the beanie version of the Knobbly socks, which is a pattern I designed last year as a guest blog designer for Needles in Life, which was so fun. And ever since I released that pattern, I have been wanting to do a beanie version and just kind of grow that collection a little bit. So that is exactly what I have started doing. And here's the beanie version. I think it turned out so pretty. It was such a successful release, and I am so happy about that. So this yarn is Knit Picks High Desert in the bear color. So this is undyed, just natural. I think it looks so beautiful. I really love the way that just the yarn looks, the natural color. It's just very simple and clean, and I really like that. I also think that it highlights the textured pattern so well. Yeah, it's just so beautiful. I love it. And then I've topped it off with a faux pom-pom, of course. I love topping off my hats with these. It's just like the simplest little touch. One thing that I do like to do with most of my hats is actually tie the pom-pom on. So you can't see it super well, but I just tie it on, and that way I can take it off if the hat needs to be washed, or if I want to kind of interchange the pom-poms with different hats, so that every single hat doesn't have to have like an exact pom-pom. I can kind of switch it out depending on which hat I want to wear. I just really like that little feature. But yeah, so this pattern released. I will link it down below if you want to check it out. It is on in my Ravelry shop and Etsy, and then it's also free on my blog. So all of those places. And then the second pattern that actually released just yesterday at the time of this episode launching on February 28th. This new cowl released. I want to show the right side, please. So let's flip it out correctly. So I have been working on this the entire month of February, and it is now out, and I love it so much. So this is the Blossomed Cowl. It is a lacy crochet cowl. I used Hobie Dahlia Mixo for this yarn, which is a cotton kind of sport weight blend. I'm actually going to have a review for this yarn go up on my channel in the next few days, and a giveaway. So stay tuned for that, because that is super exciting. I'll actually slip this on so that you can see it a little bit better. I just love the way that this cowl looks. It's so drapey and beautiful. I think it's perfect for transitioning from winter to spring, or even fall to winter, or summer to fall. Like, it's just so lightweight, yet provides like just a little bit of warmth. And I think it's so beautiful. It's also so fun to make. I love this lacy stitch pattern, and it was just so much fun to work on throughout the month. And I hope that you love the pattern. Again, this is available on Etsy and Ravelry, and then free on my blog. So definitely check it out, because I love it so much. I think it's so pretty. Yeah, I'm really excited that it is finally released and out into the maker community. It's also going to be on the Hobie website soon, fingers crossed. So stay tuned for that. It's kind of a really long process to get patterns on that platform, but I love their website, so I'm in the process of getting more of my patterns on it, which is super great and exciting. Okay, so those are the two patterns that just recently released. I do have a couple that are going to be releasing very soon. The first of which is going to be coming this weekend, and it's a new dishcloth pattern. And this very well might be my favorite dishcloth that I have designed yet, and I am beyond excited about it. I actually just did the first like sample prototype this morning, which is crazy. Like, it is very rare for me to just kind of, I mean, not randomly, like I was definitely planning on starting it, but kind of on a whim, start something completely new that I haven't done before, and have it be successful. And that is not like, gloating or boasting in any way. It's just really exciting when that happens, because so much of designing is trial and error. You figure out what works and what doesn't. Eventually you come out with this beautiful pattern that is so exciting to release, but there is so much that happens behind the scenes on every single pattern, and it's really hard to, I don't know, explain that in a way, explain all of the trial and error. So it's really exciting when something like this just kind of happens and it turns out exactly how you envisioned on the first try. So yeah, I am just really happy to share this pattern. But here's what it looks like. So this is a new dishcloth pattern that's going to be releasing. I am going to be releasing a new dishcloth pattern every single month this year, kind of in honor of the 2022 Dishcloth Mal that I am hosting. All of that information is down in the description box below. You can find the free patterns that are for this year, so the 2022 knit dishcloth and then 2022 crochet dishcloth. You can join the Facebook group if you're interested. This make-along has already been so much fun. It is extremely relaxed. Kind of the idea behind it is that you make a dishcloth, just one every single week throughout the year, and then at the end of the year you can use them as gifts, as housewarming gifts. You can restock your own kitchen. You can sell them even. Like, there's just so many things that you can do with these dishcloths. And they are hands down my favorite and my family's favorite. And so I thought that hosting this cowl would be a really fun way for, me to do this challenge myself, but then also to encourage other makers to do it, and just have it be really relaxed and fun. So that is definitely the idea behind it all. But this is going to be March's dishcloth pattern, and I am so excited about it. So this is a corner-to-corner dishcloth that uses the linen or moss stitch, which is one of my absolute favorite crochet stitches. Like, it is way up at the top of my list of favorites. I've used it many times before, both in my own patterns, but then also in other designers' patterns. It's really popular, it's really simple, and I absolutely love it. That's all there is to it. So this is worked corner to corner, so I started down at this corner, increased for half of it, and then decreased for the second half, and it just went so well. Like, I am so excited about this pattern. It was just so fun to make. So I'm going to be making a couple of other samples of it. Obviously, I'm going to have one in a solid color so that you can kind of see the stitch pattern a little bit more. And then I'm also going to be having a full video tutorial for this design, as like on the same day as it goes up in all of my shops. So I'm excited about that too. I think it's just going to be really fun and unique and a good addition to the dishcloths that I already have available, which is super fun. Really quick, the yarn that I used for this, I already have it out. I used Dishy Multi in the colorway this word always messes me up. Herb garden. Here's why it confuses me. The word is H-E-R-B. And some people pronounce it herb. Some people pronounce it herb. And then recently I watched like an episode of a TV show where some guy's name was Herb. So now I'm just completely confused. There's a little glimpse into MK's brain for you. It's pronounced herb garden though. And I love this color. I think it's so pretty. It's just different shades of blue and green. It doesn't really remind me of a garden, if I'm just being completely honest. Like, I think it would be a little more greeny for that. But nonetheless, it's very, very beautiful, and I fully enjoyed using it. So, obviously, I have some left. I'll be making some more dishcloths with this color. But, again, I definitely like using solid colors for tutorials and things like that, just because it's so much easier to see the stitches. Especially through the eyes of, or through the lens, pun intended, of the camera. So anyways, stay tuned for that pattern. It'll be releasing this weekend, the first weekend in March. And I am really excited to get it out to you guys. It's going to be really, really fun to work on that. Okay, a few more designs yet. Like, seriously, guys, I'm working on so many things. Okay, next up is a new coaster design. So I haven't decided on a release date for these yet. I still have to finish up the actual PDF version of the pattern, and then I want to have a video tutorial to go along with it as well. And my filming time is quite limited in this season of life, so I just have to figure all of that out as well. But these are super cute coasters. They were designed for a gift for my friend. Her birthday is later this month, and I am so excited to give them to her. I actually have, there it is. I thought I made 6. I'm really glad that I did, because that was definitely the intent. So here's what they look like. I used a black kind of just my ideal, I wanted them to be, you know, kind of modern looking, just fit into like her apartment very well. And then I also wanted them to be a little bit unique in terms of shape. So that is why they are the shape, which I am super excited about. I love them. I love how they turned out. They lay perfectly flat, which I am embarrassed to say how long it actually took me to get them to lay flat. It was not an easy feat, let me tell you. But I finally did it, and I'm very excited about that. I made 6, like I said. And yeah, so this pattern is going to be coming out soon. Like I said, I have not completely decided when, but I am working on it behind the scenes. I want to make a set for myself as well. Again, using some solid color yarn that's a little bit easier to see. And then after I get that set done and film a tutorial, the pattern will be released. So definitely sometime throughout the month of March, but I am still in the planning phases for this month. So more info will be coming out soon about all of that. But yeah, I love these. They turned out so good. I'm really excited to give them to her, and I think they're going to be so useful, which is always exciting. I really love making things that are useful and practical, but still handmade and kind of hold that special touch. Okay. Next up, like I said, so many things. Okay, so last week, I believe, I shared these socks, and I am super excited to announce that the pattern is going to be coming out so soon. Definitely at the beginning of March. So these are my slouchy slipper socks. These were specifically designed with the beginner in mind. So these are worked cuff to toe. There was actually no heel. They feature a rounded toe. And these are perfect for just wearing around the house. Like, my thought is that you can slip them on instead of slippers, which is exactly what I have been doing lately. And just kind of use them, you know, to sleep in if you like sleeping in socks, which I know is a huge debate, but some people do, some people don't. And I think these are just going to be so fun. So, my pair uses Knit Picks Muse in, let's see, Fearless Hand Painted, I think is what it's called. It's just really pretty pink. Very fun and bright. And then I'm going to have a video tutorial coming out for how to make these step by step as well. I'm working on so many videos, guys. It's a little bit ridiculous. But yeah, this pattern is just really fun. It's unique. It's simple. It uses worsted weight yarn and a size 8 needle, I believe. If I had them over here, I would look at that to be sure. I do. Let's see. I use these needles, which are new. size 7. So these are size 7 needles. I actually have a review for these on my channel. These are from the Mindful collection from Knitter's Pride. So I'll link to that video down below if you want to check it out. I am absolutely loving these needles though. So that's what I used to make these. And they turned out so good. Like, so good. I'm really excited to make another pair. And I'm actually hoping to make some for my sister soon. And I pulled some yarn out. I have another skein of Muse that I think would be really suitable for her. There's a lot of white in it though, so I'm a little hesitant because of that. I just don't want them to show dirt that easily. But I also have this, which is a little bit thicker, but it would still look so great. And this is Cascade Yarns Pacific Chunky in color 44. So, anyways, I really love this color. It's like a really rich eggplant. And yeah, so many things happening for these socks behind the scenes. Definitely stay tuned for the pattern because it is coming as soon as I can get it out. But yeah, I love them. They're just the perfect mindless little project. And I think they would be a really good gift knit too, because it's easy to make them, to fit any size. The pattern is obviously going to be written in multiple sizes, but just lengthwise, they're going to be really easy to customize depending on the foot of the person that you are making them for, which is always really nice. I am talking so much, and this is definitely the most loaded segment of the podcast, so excuse this with the water, although how cute is this cup? I'm really enjoying using it. It's like kind of smaller, anyway, super random, but I'm really enjoying it, and it's not going to spill, which, as from past episodes have shown, it is very important that Amy Kate has a no spill cup when recording. Anybody remember the coffee incident? I don't even remember what episode that was. I wish I could tell you. But I had like a jar of coffee during one episode and it like spilled everywhere. It was awesome. So great. Anyways, tangent aside, moving along, I have 2 more designs to talk about and both of them are very big projects. Okay, so let's talk about this one first. This is a new blanket design that I have been wanting to create for so long. Like, I have actually had this yarn in my stash since last November. Actually, both of these yarns for these 2 designs I got last November during the Hobie Black Friday sale. I actually have a video unboxing all of the yarn that I got, so I will post that in the description box if you'd like to go check it out. Obviously, the prices aren't valid anymore, but I think videos like that can be really inspirational just to kind of show new yarns and ideas that y'all might not have used or tried yet. That's definitely my outlook on videos like that when I watch them. And so I will link that video down below if you want to check it out. But I am using this yarn, which is Hobie Mega Ball. It is 100% acrylic, 400 grams or 765 yards, which is just a crazy amount of yarn. And I am using 3 different colors. I have this gray and then this really beautiful, it's like a darker shade of purple with pink. Like, it is so pretty. I don't really know how to describe it. It's color 19, so just a number. This gray, by the way, is color 24. It's my favorite shade of gray. It actually matches like my shirt perfectly. And then I'm also using, this one has the most out of it because it's what I used for swatching and all of that. But I am also using this pink shade, which is color number 18. So I'm using these 3 colors together to create a modular or motif crochet blanket. So I'm going to be making a whole bunch of squares just like this and then seaming them all together to make one large blanket. So this is actually a design that I have been wanting to create for a while, but I have not done anything like it. I am not the biggest fan of seaming myself. It's just not, not my favorite part about designing or just even creating a project that requires it. It's just not my favorite step. But to me, it makes a lot of sense because it makes the project that you're working on a little bit easier to transport. So for example, if you're going on a trip, it would be so much easier to make, bring the yarn and make a whole bunch of these little squares than to bring the yarn and make a really big blanket. So that's kind of my thought behind it. I am really excited about this design. It took me so long, and so many tries to get this square exactly what I wanted it to be. But it is finally there, and this is the only one I have. Like, this is literally it, you guys. I spent so many hours on this project, and this is what I have to show for it. That and, like, a whole bunch of failed swatches. Like, here's one. This was, like, almost gonna work, but not quite. Like, as you can see, excuse me, it's, like, caving in the middle. Whoa, which is not ideal. So that was a fail. I don't think I have the others over here. I think they're all, let's just be honest, scattered around my room, I'm sure. But, it's going great now. It's going to be amazing. I am super excited to continue working on it. I'm definitely hoping to have some more squares done for next week's episode, and then you'll be able to tell, just get a better idea of what it's going to look like. Basically, I'm going to be making 25 total squares and then seaming them together. And then this pink is going to be interchanged with the darker pink in about half of the squares. And then this gray is going to be the same in all of them. So, I'm really excited about it. It's going great now. Obviously still a lot of work to do. I am hoping to release this pattern in April. So that kind of gives you an idea on just, the pace that I'm going to be maintaining for this project. But yeah, it's going great. I'm really excited about it. And I am definitely looking forward to just sitting back and making a whole bunch of squares now that I have the first one done, and it's going to be so much simpler, which is definitely a plus. Okay, one more design to talk about, and I have said I'm excited about 1,000,001 times in this episode, but I truly am so pumped about this next design. I am using Hobie Lollipop in the color, it's going to be a number, so get ready, color number 13. But I am obsessed with this color. Like, these are all of my favorite colors, not all, a lot of my favorite colors. All of my favorite shades of pink and gray in one cake. I am making a new Cardigan design with this yarn, and it is going so well. I am actually so close to being done with it, both pattern writing and sample making. It's going great. I'll be having a tester call come up very soon, so definitely stay tuned for that if you're interested. You can sign up for my newsletter if you'd like to get first dibs on pattern tests. But this is going to be a cardigan that is made in panels and then seamed. So currently I have all of the panels done, and I'm just waiting to seam it. I'm actually going to be filming a little tutorial to include in the pattern on how to seam this cardigan, because it's unlike any of the other patterns that I have designed in terms of garments, and I just want to be sure that I am explaining it accurately. So we'll be creating that little tutorial. It's going to be very simple. It will probably just be a private tutorial for people who have that pattern, and then it'll be like a time lapse. So I'll be, laying all of the pieces out and then explaining that, and then just seaming it, just really to provide a visual aid for those that need it, which I know I will be one of those people, and so I really want to provide that little piece of the pattern. I think it's going to be a really good addition. So I have made all of the panels. I'm actually going to reach over here and grab the rest because they fell out of the basket. Okay, so here is the back panel. Here's what it looks like. So it's going to be very oversized and cozy, and obviously it's a little bit stripy because of the yarn, which I really, really like the look of. So here's the back panel, and then I have the front panel, two front panels, obviously. Let's see here. They both, oh, nope, that's a sleeve. Just kidding. Okay, here's both of the front panels. So they will go like this. Actually, to be more precise, they will go like this when I'm wearing it. And then both of the sleeves. And these, like I said, everything's going to be seamed. So everything is worked flat, and then it'll be seamed all at once together. And the sleeves are actually really cute because they are oversized, but then they come down to like a fitted look. So you're not going to be able to really tell. But basically, they're going to fit like this. And then seamed all the way up the underarm, obviously. So like this. They're going to be really cute. Oversized up at the top, fitted at the bottom. And then there's, of course, going to be instructions in the pattern on how to modify the cuff a little bit if you'd like it to not fit so snugly. It is not tight by any means, but some people like looser fitting sleeves. Some people like a snugger fit. Me personally, I love it oversized everywhere except for my wrist. I really like it to be a little bit more of a closer fit in that area. So anyways, I'm so excited about this pattern. It is going so great. Obviously, I worked a ton on it this week. And then all that's left to do is to seam it, and then I'm going to be adding a border, which is really exciting. So yeah, definitely stay tuned for that. My mind just went completely blank. That tester call. If you'd like to test this pattern, I would love to have you. And yeah, it is going so good. It's so, just squishy and colorful right now in a whole bunch of pieces, but that's okay. Seaming is going to be very manageable. Let me just clarify that. It's not going to be overwhelming. That is definitely not my intent behind it. But it's going to help the structure a lot and help the stitch pattern itself just look so much better, because all of the pieces are worked the same. So I'm really excited about that. Okay, now I do have a couple of other things to talk about, and it is collabs that I am currently doing with other makers, which is really, really exciting. So if you'd like to do a collab with me, or partner up in hosting a giveaway, or send me a product of yours so that I can help share it and promote it, I have my contact information down below. Don't hesitate to reach out, because I would love to share your beautiful creations or work with you. This community is amazing, and part of why it's so amazing is because of the support that we show each other, which I think is absolutely beautiful. Okay, so first up, I'm going to be doing a design collaboration with Leap of Faith Yarns. We are doing a sock pattern. So she dyed this yarn, and then I'm going to be designing a pair of socks with it, and then of course posting that pattern on all of my platforms. And I am like obsessed with this color. Like, I cannot tell you how badly I just want to frame it and not use it. Like, that is how beautiful it is. Here is a close-up. It's actually completely color accurate right now. It is amazing. Like, oh my goodness, I love this color so much. It is called Bryce Canyon, I think is how you pronounce it. This is on her sock weight base, so 75/25 nylon, 463 yards per 100 grams, and it is a 4-ply. This is my favorite sock base ever. 75/25, and then a 4-ply is my absolute favorite. And so it's going to make a beautiful pair of socks, and I am so excited about it. So that is the first thing that's going to be coming soon. I will definitely have these started for the next episode. It is so hard for me to take this yarn because, like I said, it's so beautiful. But it's going to make an amazing pair of socks. So I cannot wait to get started on it for that reason. More water. Anyways, apologize for all of that. I hope that you have a drink to enjoy throughout the episode as well. Anyway, so that is the first thing that I'm going to be working on. And then I'm going to be hosting a giveaway along with this awesome potion. I'm not sure how to pronounce her name, which I should message her about that, because now I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce it. I'm going to say Shani, but I'm not 100% sure about that. Do not quote me. I will definitely be reaching out to her and making sure that I am pronouncing her name correctly. But she sent over these amazing pins, and I'm going to be hosting a giveaway through Instagram, partnering with her throughout this week. So definitely go over to Instagram. I will link the post below and enter on that post, because that giveaway will be ending on Friday of this week. But I thought I would just show a few of the pins, because they are absolutely amazing. So here's the first one. Like, I cannot get over how beautiful these are. So here's one. It says soulmates with a pair of socks on it. Like, how cute is that? Obviously, I have not met my soulmate yet, but when I do, I now have wild expectations to knit that person a pair of socks while putting this pin on the project bag, and it's going to be amazing. So there's another glimpse into my brain. Anyway, here's another one. This is a yarn ball in the shape of a heart with a crochet hook and a crown on it. So like crochet queen kind of thing. This one is a yarn bomb. Get it? Because it's a yarn ball and it's a bomb going off. I mean, can you even? Like, all of these are so amazing. This one is a bouquet of yarn ball flowers, and it says treat yourself. So I'm going to link her shop below. Definitely check it out because all of these are so amazing and the quality is unreal. Like, I am just obsessed with all of them and I cannot wait to use them. So I'll link her shop down below if you want to check out her pins and maybe order some for yourself. And then I will also link the Instagram post and her Instagram profile so that you can enter to win some of these pins as a giveaway. So that's really exciting. I am so happy that she reached out to me because her pins are absolutely amazing and I might not have found her another way. Like, anyways, I'm really excited about that. Okay, and then one more shop that I want to mention, and that is Knit On With It Designs. Ashley, she sent me some stitch markers to use and share on the podcast this week, and I am loving them. So I'm going to get all three out because she sent me 3, and here's what they all look like. So this one is a muffin. You can't see it super well in the plastic, but here's what it looks like. So it's a little chocolate chip muffin. How cute is that? Oh my gosh, it's a little bitty muffin. And then this one is like a holographic bird, which I think is just so beautiful. So there's what it looks like, and you can kind of tell that it changes colors a little bit in the light, which I think is so pretty. And then this one is a milkshake, and I would definitely call it like mint chocolate. Maybe that's not what it is, but that's definitely what it is in my opinion, because mint chocolate milkshakes are absolutely amazing. And this looks so cute. So it's a little milkshake in a glass with a straw. Oh my goodness. So again, I will link her shop below as well if you want to check out her products. This community is just filled with so many amazing people, and I am just honored to be a little bitty piece of it. And I think it's so cool to realize that we all have different things to offer. Like, yarn dyers have something beautiful to offer. Designers do. Stitch marker makers, progress keeper makers. Just every little thing in between is absolutely amazing, and like I said, it is so beautiful to be a little bitty piece of this amazing community. Thank you so much for being here. Anyway, so I do have a little devotional and life update to share, so let's just go ahead and hop into that. So for devotional this week, there are honestly so many things that I could talk about. It has been a really heavy week and a really hard week for many people, many people. And so while that shouldn't be taken lightly, I always want to be a source of encouragement and light to everyone I can meet and when I come in contact with. Everything that I share on here, I want it to be encouraging and uplifting and just give you that little boost to get through the week and to have something to remember or look back on as encouragement throughout the week. And so that's my hope for this little segment of the podcast. And for this week in particular, I just want to remind you that no matter what's going on in the world, no matter what's going on in your personal life, no matter what's going on in your family or your friends around you, take heart because Jesus has overcome it all. Nothing surprises him. Like, he knows what's going to happen before we do. And while in some ways that can be a hard thing to realize, especially when those things that happen aren't good, but at the same time, I think it's really important for us to remember his goodness and his faithfulness, and that no matter what, his plans will always prevail. And so even if those plans don't look like how we thought they would or how we think they should, we should be reminded of the fact that they are exactly how they should be because it's how God designed them to be. And I think for me personally, a lot of events can lead to fearful thoughts because I am one who does not like or appreciate the unknown. I like knowing as much as I can, ahead of time. I like knowing what to expect. It's just my personality. It is a good and a bad thing in many ways. And I'm very well aware of that. But I came across a website, and I will link it down below, of just some Bible verses that brought encouragement for me personally through fearful thoughts. And I highly recommend that you give that a look. I have linked it in the show notes in the little devotional segment, which again will be linked down below. And I just want to remind you too, like, if there is a topic that you are struggling with and you know that there are Bible verses that can carry you through it, because there always are, I recommend Googling it. I am working so hard to develop a like just more thorough understanding of the Bible and be better at referencing verses and knowing exactly where and when to find them. But that is not something that's going to happen overnight. That comes with lots and lots of studying on my part. So while I am getting there, and I hope to be there fully one day, I am not there yet. And so don't be afraid to Google. Don't be afraid to Google, you know, Bible verses about freedom, Bible verses about anxious thoughts, Bible verses about the future. Like, they were there, and there's so much wisdom on those posts as well, I will add. So, you know, don't let not knowing where to start in the Bible hold you back from trying to find peace in what God has already said. So one of the verses that I specifically came across in this verse, it was the very last one in that little list. And it basically combined 1 Peter 5:7 and Romans 8:28. And I think it is so beautiful and so applicable to where we are right now. And I just want to read it out. I have it written in the show notes or quoted in the show notes if you want to read it with your own eyes. But just out loud, it says, "We cannot rest in the fact that nothing takes our sovereign God by surprise. Take your fears, worries, and anxieties before God because He cares about them and He desires your good." And I thought that just perfectly summarized those two verses. Those are some of my two favorite verses in the Bible. Again, 1 Peter 5:7, and which 1 Peter 5:7 says, "Cast all your anxieties on the Lord because He cares for you." And then Romans 8:28 just reminds us that His plans are for our good, and He desires our good, and He desires us to be well. And I think it just perfectly summarized those two. So I just want that to be a sense of encouragement for you. I know there's a lot of things that we cannot understand, and sometimes it's really hard to admit for me that all I can do is pray. All I can do is hope. But there's so much power in prayer, and so I highly recommend just to spend time praying this week and to seek His guidance and to just ask Him to lead those that need to be led and to save those that need to be saved and to be with all people like He already is. But for everybody to just be reminded of that, I think is so powerful. Anyways, in terms of a little bit of a life update, it has been a pretty heavy week. Personally, it was a long week. Long week school-wise, long week work-wise, and then just for other personal reasons, it was a long week. But we're at the weekend now, which I'm very grateful for. I am filming this podcast, which is always exciting and always uplifting for me personally. I also, though, did do a little bit of reading this week. I actually finished this book, which is called 1,000 Tomorrows. It's another one by Karen Kingsbury. I am just thoroughly enjoying her books right now. And this one was extremely sad. Like, I am not gonna lie, it was so sad. It was so sad. But it was absolutely beautiful. In like a very short summary, and you know, attempting to not give anything away, it's about a young woman who has cystic fibrosis, and then a young man who is just dealing with a lot of anger and hate from previous life experiences. And so these two people come together, and then just through amazing God-ordained ways, they find love. And then 1,000 Tomorrows is in reference to 3 years. So 3 years is about 1,000 Tomorrows, which is just obviously such a beautiful sentiment and like the most perfect way to say that. But it's for very sad reasons. So anyways, I highly recommend reading this book if you haven't already. It's actually a 2-part series, and I read the second one before the first one because I found the second one before I found the first one. So this one is called 1,000 Tomorrows, and then the second one is called Just Beyond the Clouds. And they're about the same man. Cardigan is his name in the book, and like 2 different stories about him, 2 different places he was in life. And they are both so good. So I highly recommend this book if you haven't already read it. I am now itching to start another book, and I haven't quite decided what it's going to be yet. But I have some sock knitting that I need to do, so I definitely need to choose a book soon. Anyways, I hope that you have an amazing week. Definitely check out all of the links down in the description box so that you can enter that giveaway. See all of those awesome makers, shops and pages, and of course the show notes for this episode, my social media platforms, everything and anything is down there, so definitely check it out. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any future videos. I hope that you have an absolutely amazing week full of so much making, and until next time, happy making. Bye.